What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. And yeah, this is the double upload I was talking about in my previous video. What if Naruto had the luck fruit? And so yeah, I just decided I wanted to do a double upload. No real reason, I just chose to. So y'all can't complain and say, oh, you don't never do double uploads. Well, here it is, the double upload. So yeah, let's get into this. What if Naruto was Sephiroth's reincarnation part Chess? So yeah, let's get into this. So Issei was a bit upset today, because this was the first time that he ever actively disliked going to school. Though he never really disliked it, Issei found that at times someone was watching him. In general, it was a feeling that he personally just did not like at all. It was as if he couldn't have a moment of privacy to himself. As Issei Hyoda, a voice Issei was hearing as he turned around to see Kiba talking to him. As Issei still in a slightly pissed off mood, he's like, well, what you want? As he was in a pretty bad mood, being monitored for 24/7. As he's just still a bit pissed off, because when he tried to go to the bathroom, he could have sworn someone was looking at him. So let's just say he's not very in the most cheery of mood today. So while Issei was not prone to judge people, he was in a bad mood and suspected that, well, Kiba was sent by Rias or Sona. So as he thought of this, because when Konako had attempted to approach him earlier, he just gave her a death glare and just said, bitch, move. So I was wondering if you like to come with me. Kiba being the usual polite dude he is, as he said, I would like you to come with me to the Ocular Research Club. As he said, he's like, what the fuck club? Wait a second, were you sent here by Rias or the school council president? He asked, a bit pissed off. Well, yeah, I was sent by one of them to come fetch you, he answered, getting a bit, he feeling the bit of the bloodlust leaking from Issei, as yeah, it's kind of making him a bit hard to breathe a little bit. As he says, which one? Issei asks, his tone becoming colder by the minute. Rias did, the president of our club, after all. Is that so? Well, I am to take it that you are one of them as well, then. One of who? Well, something that is to say that originated from hell, has something to do with chess or something like that. Oh yeah, I'm one of Rias's knights. This makes you a devil too, then, Issei said, as if it wasn't a question. Well, yes, I am. So I take it that you became one, right? Well, yeah, I guess so, Kiba's answer in his usual upbeat tone. Would you mind telling me why you became one? And for a brief moment, Kiba's face seemed to take on a quite on look, as if he was reminded of something painful. Seeing this, Issei quickly avoided answering or asking any more questions to put Kiba any more discomfort than he already was. It's not like he had a problem with Kiba, he just had a problem with Rias. Keep sending people to look for him, or just watch him, observe him. So people just coming up straight up to him and just doing it genuinely. So Kiba sighed as he gave off a sad smile. It's just that I'd rather not remember, he admitted. What were you forced or something? Issei asked, though not to judge, but believing that if something like that would be beyond what a devil could do, even humans have done it. No, it's just that the events that had led up to that are memories that are quite difficult to bear, and remembering them is quite painful. I'm sure you understand. As Issei's like, yeah, I have my fair share of those moments. So, will you call me now? Kiba asked, as Issei just shook his head. Sorry, but I don't really want to be involved with someone who admitted that she will let me die. As Issei looking at Kiba, he's like, give me some time and I'll come around, but for now I think it's best for me to be left alone. Looking at Kiba, he continued, but since you seem like a decentable person, so I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. As Kiba just nodded and thanks. Thank you. I will inform Riz then. As he was about to turn away, but then Issei gave him one last thing to say. Oh, one more thing. Can you tell Riz to stop sending Akano to get near me? I don't like it when people are made to do something as if they couldn't do it for themselves. But I also dislike others that do the deed for them. As Kiba turned around and said, I wasn't aware that she was still doing it. Riz had given her specific instructions to wait for a while. As Issei just gave him a "Are you serious?" face before simply just leaving. So, we gonna cut to Kiba. So, Kiba, I take it that you were unable to get Issei, considering that you entered this place alone. As for Kiba's part, he just said, you know it's hard to get Issei here, considering that he will most likely refuse to, seeing that he doesn't trust you much, if not at all. From what I've taken from that is that he doesn't like the association with the word devil. It seems to be handled with caution, if not associated with. But what Riz says, interested in what Kiba had to say. Issei just shrugged his shoulders before answering her question. This might be my theory, but the way how he spoke, of which may have opened way more possibilities, but at the same time misinterpretations as well. I believe that Issei is more of being afraid of being alone than anything else. Also, from our conversation, I believe that he's a person with a kind heart, but has something constantly pushing him away from being what he is to being the opposite. As he stated that he may come at his own pace, and he may stop mistrusting your motives and goals, though like I said before, this is just my speculations. Okay, that's something to think over. Also, he said that Konako was still trying to approach him. I thought you told her to stop doing that stalker shit. As Riz, she's like, I thought I did. As they all looked at Konako. So, Konako, pray tell why you still creeping up on Issei as if you know him. As we just hear a voice. Oh yes, I too certainly would like to hear why you've been stalking me these past few days. As well, he does have a little bit of a weird aura around him that just screams mystery and makes you want to, I guess, know more about. As there's a chuckle. Well, I'm quite flattered that you think that way about me, but I don't even know your name, so do you mind telling me? As, why of course, my name's Akano. As Akano just, as when she answered, it just hit her in the head, like, wait, Issei, as she just staring at him, wait, Issei, how long were you here? No, forget about that. How did you get in? She asked, as the rest of the club room members just looked at Issei's sudden appearance. Well, I just walked in. The door was wide open. As Issei says, don't tell me Kiba lied to me when he said I was invited to come here. No. Ria's answered. I mean, thank you for coming. I need to speak with you. As Issei abrupted her speaking, like, well, what you want? Well, I was hoping that you had changed your mind about joining the pt3. Ria said, rather sheepish, as if she was keeping something away from him. You know, it's been a day since you offered me, and I said no. Even if I changed my mind, it would take some time. As you seem to have something important coming up, don't you? Something that you need more servants for? Am I right about that? As Rias nodded, a bit embarrassed that she was read that easily. Yeah, that's mainly it. So, do you mind telling me what this event that is so important to you? Issei asked. Well, it's just that, you know, she's a bit embarrassed about having to say this. Well, it's about my engagement. It's coming up soon and I'm going to be married. So, I would joke and say congratulations, or that you'll be breaking a boy's heart and that all that kind of sort of stuff. But I have a feeling that you don't like this nigga at all, do you? Well, yeah. He's vulgar, rude, has no respect for women. His pt3 is full of women and he does whatever he pleases with them. It's quite disgusting, Riz explained. Well, I'm assuming he's a pretty powerful dude, given that you're trying to recruit people quite desperately. As Riz is like, well, okay, look, it's not that. And she's like, well, yeah, you kind of caught me on this. Well, how did you know about all this? You know, Riz asked. Well, let's just say that when you're going to ask someone something that is private, make sure that you are not where anyone else have their lunch, Issei said. Oh, damn it, I'm so fucking stupid. As Akano, she asked, by the way, she agreed she has become my pawn, which is the most dangerous piece in the game, being able to upgrade itself to any piece it chooses to. As Issei's like, well, I guess that poor Kiba is going to have some problems in the near future. As Issei, you know, joking, as Akano raised her eyebrow. What do you mean by that? I'd rather not explain. It gives me the urge to hurl. As Issei, you know, answering her. And so, well, getting back to the matter on hand, will you join my pt3 even for a brief moment of this situation, please? You know, she's literally begging Issei. As he's thinking, okay. Well, Rias, I don't know. I am not overly fond of doing something for someone I barely know and having to do it for free at the same time, Issei answered. Well, what is it you want then? Name it, Rias asked. And for a moment, Issei put it in his head. Ooh, Pop-Tarts. As everyone's reaction. Freaking Rias and freaking Kiba's face looked like it been smashed in by a hammer. Freaking Konako looked like she got electrocuted. Akano is dying laughing. As Issei's like, really? That's what you want? And he's like, hey, no need to yell. I can hear you perfectly fine, even if we were whispering, Issei said. But you do know that Rias would have gave you almost anything, and yet you asked for Pop-Tarts. Why? Issei just shrugged. I don't know why. Maybe I don't see why not. Asking me to join the pt3 sounds like a perfectly reasonable, and asking me for that is perfectly reasonable. What did you think I was going to ask? For something possible? As Rias got up off the floor, dusted her uniform before speaking. Well, Issei, are you sure that's what you want? Verifying to see if he was just fucking with her. I'm quite sure, Issei said. Why is it so hard to believe? Well, I was thinking that you would probably want something more meaningful than some fucking Pop-Tarts. Yes. Instantly, Issei's face vanished to a more killing intent look. The same look he had on his face when he killed Rainer. Needless to say, this sudden switch caught everyone completely off guard. Well, you see, the only time I had them was when a friend of mine had made some and decided to share some with me. Well, what happened to that friend of yours? Couldn't he or she make them for you again? Akano asked. Well, you see, it's not possible, for she is no longer around, Issei said. What happened? She died in the accident that I told you and Miss Student Council President about, Issei said with a smile. But the research club could definitely tell that it was a cover-up, his bitterness at recalling the memory. I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have asked. Akeno asked, apologizing, you know. As Issei just worked it off, hey, don't worry about it. It was neither here nor there, so I won't get mad at you. Quite certain you had nothing to do with the bus crash, so I don't know why you would blame yourself. And she's like, well, I'm still sorry anyways. Well, enough with that. So, as Issei was about to leave, he hears a voice. Issei, wait. As Riz called out him, prompting him to stop and turn around. You haven't signed the contract yet. Yeah, I'll do it when you need me to. After all, you still have some time left, don't you? Issei said before walking out. Well, Akeno stated, we got what we wanted, didn't we? It seems so. Riz said, letting out a sigh of relief, hoping now that we stand a chance. You know, why is Issei hurting? Akeno asked, getting a surprised looks from the other members. Well, what makes you think he's in pain? Akeno asked. Well, it seemed as though Issei is in pain way more than usual, Akeno stated. What do you mean by more pain than usual? As Kiba asked, as Konako just shook her head. I don't really know what it's just his smiles. It's as if he's trying to cover up something. Like, obviously he's in pain. I can sense it. But he keeps trying to hide it with a smile. As she just asked, Riz, do you have any ideas? As Riz just sighed as she knew what was going on, but she knew she had to tell her parents to watch sooner or later. Well, unfortunately, I do know, she said. Why is it unfortunate, Riz? Kiba asked, as if not sure he would like the answer. Well, you know when me and Sona went to go visit him? Well, yeah, you had us on standby in case anything would have happened. Well, as you know, Sona and I went to go visit him. There, Sona saw that something was not normal and asked him about it. As it turned out that Issei is suffering from something called cell degeneration. As she paused, letting the members soak in the information before continuing. Because of this, he's dying slowly. Apparently, it started in that accident he was talking about earlier. Is there anything we can do to help him? You know, Kiba asking. Even though he only met Issei a few moments ago, something as horrible as degeneration sounded very bad. So he didn't want that to happen to anybody, even if he just met Issei a few hours ago. I don't know, Kiba. I seriously don't know. I told him about the Twilight healing, but he seemed like he wasn't fucking with it. I believe as if he needs it constantly for him to be living normally. But who knows, maybe it's something linked with his powers. From what Issei said, it seems as if he can perform now he couldn't do before the accident. So I suspect that it's probably linked with his wing. But I do not imagine what angels and fallen angels would do if they found out about it. So Kiba asking, Riz, do you think he's possibly related to them in some way? As Riz shook her head. According to Akeno, he's completely unrelated and seems as if the only thing common with it is the single wing and the twisted vulture look it had on it. So Riz, Akeno asked, what can we do to help him besides getting him those Pop-Tarts he asked? I don't know. Perhaps I will ask my brother if he knows something about this cell degeneration, because I honestly have no fucking clue. So we gonna cut to Azia, as Azia's having a pretty bad day right now. Why? Because she lost her way to the church, she couldn't find Rainer, and the church is calling her all these names while being at the mercy of Freed and the other fallen angels. Not that she was complaining, being declared a heretic, a witch by the church for killing a devil she had nowhere else to go. As she was worried about these things, she stumbled over and fell onto the pavement. Hey, are you good? As she tried to get up, as when she get up, she saw that her luggage was just spilled all over the ground. As she looking up, seeing Issei looking at her, As he's like, well, are you good? You alright? As he asks, concerned. And she's like, yeah, I think I'm fine. As at this part, Issei says, well, do you need help? Help of what? She asked. Well, picking up your shit for you, or you want me to leave? As you're like, no, I'll be very helpful if you could help me. As Issei's like, alright, cool. So after like a while, him picking up her stuff, actually folding it for her, putting it back in her suitcase for her and stuff. And so while all that is done, she says, thank you for helping me. Do you know where the church is at? At this, he's like, oh, yeah, cool, yeah. It's over that way. You take a left, then you head straight down, then you take a right. Then after that, you should be on the correct street. Then after that, you should walk like a half a kilo before you reach there. As Asuya kind of blinked a couple times, she's like, can you tell me all that again for me? And so for this, he just eventually says, you know what, I'll take you there. And so in between they walks, Asuya's stomach start growling. As Issei just looking at her with a empty sad smile, he's like, hey, if you hungry, we can just go to these fast food places real quick. As he's gesturing that they go to the shopping central that was nearby. And Asuya, she's like, cool. As she's filling her pocket, she's like, oh fuck, I left my money. As he's like, fine, I guess I just have to pay for both of us then. As it took a few minutes to reassure Asuya that it was safe to eat. And so, seeing that Issei's been so kind to her at this point, she asks, why have you been so kind to me? Are you like this with everyone else? As the sad smile on Issei's face could hide the only real expression he could make. No, I normally try to avoid other people in places where such things like this can happen, he answered. So why did you help me then? Call it a whim or a fancy, mainly because I was in a good mood, or some people might say a charitable mood, but you just happened to be there, that's all. So as they were walking to the church, Asuya decided to ask him another question. Why does your smile look so sad? Did something hurt you so that you couldn't be happy? As then he looked at her as she saw something kinda akin to sorrow, grief, self-loathing. As he says, I don't really want to talk about it. As they reached to the church, she asked him a question that caught him off guard. Will you be my friend? As he looked at conflicted, happy, sad, scared, whole lot of other emotions for a moment before he answered. You sure you want to be friends with me? As she said, yeah, you seem like a pretty nice person. I believe that no matter what kind of person you are, you're just nice. As he just sighed, he's like, alright, fine. As he says this, as he patted her on the back as he left. Wait, I didn't get to ask you your name. And you don't even know mine. As she's like, well, my name is Issei, he said as he continued to walk away. And she yells out her name, like, my name is Asuya. As Asuya, for the first moment in her time, she feels this unfamiliar feeling of courage hitting her in her chest. As she yells out, let's meet together sometime later on then. As Issei nodded before continuing walking. As Asuya congratulated herself. Finally, for the first time, she made a friend. And so yeah, that's where we're gonna end it off right there. Tell me what you think, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, do all that stuff. That's why it's basically a free way of saying, hey, I vibes with your shit, I want to see more of it. So yeah, with that being said, I'm out. Peace. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.